Welcome to the Eureka Street Crypto Podcast.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Eureka John, and you're at Eureka Street Crypto. Broadcasting live from Leander, Texas. It is 5:33 in the morning, and this is my morning video blog about crypto, aka brain dump, where I just kind of wake up, smell the, I don't drink coffee, smell the kombucha. Most of the time I'm drinking kombucha. Some mornings it's just like this gnarly energy drink here. Probably shouldn't drink. It's not really energy. It's just some pre-workout stuff. Basically energy drink. But and then my apple. This is my morning show. I'm just random freestyle stream of consciousness talking about my experience in the crypto space, and I've been doing this since October 24th, 2020. I am sponsored by somebody, Zencastr, I guess, but I have to listen to what they want me to say, so this is technically not an endorsement of Zencastr yet. So I'll get on that today at work. I'll open up those windows and have the little things that I'm supposed to read for a second. All right, but so far it's not sponsored program, and I try not to shill anything, although I end up shilling some stuff sometimes. Just talking about some things I like. I don't think that's necessarily shilling. But so let's take a look at the crypto market and see what's up. Cryptocurrency prices by market cap on the old CoinGecko. So it's one of these many pages that you can go to see the coin listings. I probably need to refresh this page, and let's see what's going on. I know Bitcoin and crypto has been all over the place lately. Biden is about to, I think it's March 11th, go up on stage and read a script that's basically, who knows if he'll read it right, but will give the direct executive order on cryptocurrency, or on Bitcoin. So we'll see what happens after that. I imagine a lot of people are either, probably selling before the news, trying to get good while they can get good, who knows what that's going to do to Bitcoin. Probably, will make it sink for a little bit, but I don't think that anything's really going to stop Bitcoin, honestly. The regulators are going to try, people are going to try, with all the FUD, but the more that the governments try to crack down on cryptocurrency, or try to crack down the more governments try to crack down on people's bank accounts and these sanctions and everything like that, the more relevant cryptocurrency becomes, and the more the veil is pulled off of the whole idea that that you're free. And that happened with the truckers in Canada. Them shutting down the GoFundMe account, and now we see Visa and MasterCard and PayPal and all these places pulling out of Russia, to where people in Russia can't transact internationally anymore. And a lot of those people are moving towards cryptocurrencies, which is deeming cryptocurrencies to be labeled some kind of shady activity now, because it can't be controlled. A lot of them can't be controlled. So I know there's chain analysis on Bitcoin, and I'm not going to get into all the subtleties of some different ways that things can be tracked, but it is really... I would say it's more of a pain in the ass, but it's not really, because in a way, for regulators, you can see everything that's done on the blockchain. You just can't necessarily see who it is without it being without a little more investigation. There really is no way to hide a transaction on a transparent blockchain, unless you're using something like Monero or Secret Network or something like that, But that's a whole other episode. Anyway, so Bitcoin's at $38,959.16. Ethereum's at $2,592.72. That's pretty low, man. Down 11.2% in the past 7 days, up 2.3%. In the past 24 hours, we're starting to see some green, maybe some things starting to recover from Sunday and yesterday's crash. Tether's a stablecoin. Binance up 3.2%. To 386.65. USDC is a stablecoin. XRP 72 cents. I don't know how XRP is still in there in the running, so I don't know. Terra 81.55, staying pretty static, but down 10.6% in the past 7 days. Solana 83.85, down 15% in the past 7 days. Cardano down 15.4% to 81 cents. Avalanche 72.63, down 13.9%. I've been seeing lately a couple comparisons of Avalanche compared to Tron and Solana, or what was it? Yeah, Solana compared to EOS, back in 2017. And then they said, well, Charles Hoskinson is just, and then Cardano is just run by somebody who thinks they're a math professor since 2017. So, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. You got to have a sense of humor in this business here, I guess. If you're going to be involved in the crypto sector, it's not my business, but yeah. Polkadot 16.89, down 10.8%. Let's see here. Anything else sticking out for me? I'd like to take a look at Phantom and see where that has been, and then Yearn Finance as well. And I'll tell you here in a second. Theta is up 10.5% in the past 24 hours, down 11.8% in the past 7 days. I'm pretty involved deeply I'm pretty invested in Theta, so I do see a bright future for Theta, so let's see here. Harmony down 16.1%, up 1.4% in the past 24 hours. And let's see here. Anything that's really standing out. All right. So, let me find Yearn Finance, and I want to find Phantom. So bear with me 1 second here. Man, are they really that far down past the top 50? I did not know that. So let's see here. Phantom, there it is right there, because I was just searching for. Oh, it's a trending search. A lot of people have their eyes on Phantom. Immutable X too, huh? Okay. That's Immutable X is a Starkware NFT token for the gaming space. So Phantom down to $1.37. It's had a bit of a wild ride in the past week or so, which I will talk about here in a second. I'll talk about that now. Andre Cronje is one of the main characters of Phantom, one of the main developers, and let's wheel this out 14 days and see what it looks like. I'm not a graph guy, so I'm not gonna be sitting here trying to put those charts, on anything, and call out ascending and descending wedges and cups and handles and head and shoulders and all that stuff. I'm not your guy for that. There are people that do that, and there's a couple people that do that very well, but most of them are just basically like sticking a stick in a pile of dog poop and stirring it around and saying there's going to be rain. So let's see here. So March 22nd, it was up to 203, and then March 2nd, yeah, March 2nd, 2022, and then March 8th, it's down here to $1.37. So it's taking quite a dip, and as you can see here, right about on March 6th on Sunday, it just dropped down almost vertically. So yeah, there's been a lot of drama going on. Apparently, and this is kind of old news for a lot of people, so bear with me. Old news, new news. To think about it this way, I'm not here to keep up on the daily news like the Defiant and stuff like that and the Cointelegraph. I'm just here to talk about stuff that I'm learning, and then when I get time to talk about it. So that being said, apologies aside, there are still a lot of people that are still DeFi. The concept of DeFi is news to them. So keep that in mind. All right, not everybody's on the same playing field with regards to crypto. There's a lot of really new people always constantly coming in. So I kind of always have to review the basics and kind of give a little, foundational spiel. All right. So anyway, Andre Cronje has been one of the founders of Phantom Network, and Phantom Blockchain is another layer 1 blockchain that uses direct acyclic graph technology, a DAG technology, DAG, and hey, put the DAG outside. It stinks. Hey, shut the DAG up. It's barking too loud. That's the only thing I think about whenever I hear like somebody from Boston or Rhode Island or talking about dogs. Hey, nice DAG you have there. Anyway, that's DAG technology, direct acyclic graph, and it's what Hedera Hashgraph uses. Phantom calls it something else. They call it lachesis or lachesis, however you pronounce it, like tomato, and it's basically the same thing. It's just Hedera Hashgraph has like patents on certain parts of it, and it's really owned. They say it's decentralized. Hedera Hashgraph is not decentralized, but it has a lot of very, very large corporations and entities as their validators. And yeah, there's no way you can be a validator on Hedera Hashgraph without being some kind of multinational billion-dollar organization or whatever. But Phantom's kind of, like to think it's using that same technology, but more of like a people's network. And there's a lot of pretty cringy and pretty scary DeFi apps on it that you can go in there and you can go in that Phantom blockchain area and you can really degen out. But there's some really good stuff in there too. So that's part of the whole experimentation of this space. You can jump in and you can go to standard root. You can do Celsius and BlockFi and stay on the centralized exchanges where it's all safe. Well, it's not really safe. That's the thing about it. But people have this idea of, if it's big, it's safe. If it's, I don't know. But if you can, go direct from your dollars to it, it's safe. It's not necessarily the case. Excuse me. All right. So, but anyway, Phantom is there to help. And there's another layer 1. There's a whole plethora of layer 1s that are there to try to solve the issues that Bitcoin and Ethereum are running into with like speed and scalability and stuff like that. And a lot of times it's at the cost of decentralization, and that's the whole scalability trilemma. Well, Phantom is one of those, but it takes a different approach than a lot of these other blockchains. It takes that approach using direct acyclic DAG technology. And but anyway, Andre Cronje has been one of the founders spearheading all this. And Andre Cronje was one of the first people to create DeFi, through Yearn Finance and all that stuff back in 2020, the DeFi summer, and everybody was going gangbusters. And that's whenever you've suddenly had like things like Yam come out and Sushi Swap and all these other swaps that had to do with food, Pancake Swap, I don't know, Apple Swap, Pizza Swap, Pasta Swap. There's just all this food. All this DeFi technology named after food, and most of the projects were just like, bound for the toilet. Like literally, it was food and it's bound for the toilet. I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? So I never thought about that, man. I'm a jokester, aren't I? Hey, hold on, let me take a bite of my apple. Okay, so today was a tough day for the Phantom community, and this was posted on March 6th, which was 2 days ago. In this thread, I'll break down. This is by Miles Deutscher, I think that's how you pronounce it, or not Deutscher. That's how Americans look at it, Deutscher. But Miles Deutscher, and Deutsch being Deutschland, Germany. So maybe I don't know. Anyway, on Sunday, I posted today was a tough day for the Phantom community, and you notice on that graph, that's when everything just completely dropped down vertically for Phantom. In this thread, I'll break down what happened with Andre Cronje, how it affects the Phantom ecosystem going forward, and what we can do to respond. So, and I saw Andre Cronje's original tweet. I can't find it now because I think he deleted his Twitter account and he went totally anon. Will he still be around? Possibly, but he's definitely going to be anonymous. All right. Yesterday, Andre Cronje changed his LinkedIn to suggest he's stepping down away from crypto. Okay. I guess Miles retweeted his own tweet. Hearing that Andre Cronje is taking a break from crypto appears to be burnout after the Solidly Exchange launch. He recently launched a new exchange called Solidly Exchange that was supposed to be in partnership with Danny Sesta. More on that later. He changed his YFI and Phantom LinkedIn to reflect this. YFI is Yearn Finance and FTM is Phantom, ending February 22nd instead of present. Michael Kong, Phantom's CEO, also responded to this on Telegram. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. Today, Andre's business partner, Anton, confirmed these rumors, saying they are deciding. So Anton is stepping down too, or he has stepped down, to terminate 25 apps and services, including Iron Finance, Solidly Exchange, The Keeper. That's a big one. All right. So, the Keeper Network. Andre and I have decided that we're closing the chapter of contributing to the DeFi crypto space, is what Anton Nell is saying. There are around 25 apps and services that we are terminating on the 3rd of April, 2022. So, interesting. Andre himself said that they are completing handovers, which implies that the affiliated projects will still be able to run independently of Andre. So, bad PR. These guys are developers. They're not salespeople. They're not marketing people. They're not PR people. They're not terminating these applications. They're handing over the application. They're terminating their involvement with it. So they could have probably worded it a little bit better. So for those of you panicking, however, a result of all this is the price on all these projects have dropped significantly. And it's been kind of a shaking of the foundations. And it is kind of a wake-up call for the whole idea of a lot of the people in this crypto space that follow this crypto stuff to put these figureheads on pedestals. Crypto is supposed to be about decentralization and a lot of times anonymity. It's supposed to be about not one person holding the keys to a project. It's all about not anonymous, but multi-sigs and things like that. It's about decentralization. And so that's one of the main criticisms that Bitcoiners say about Ethereum. They say, all the Ethereum heads just idolize Vitalik, whether that's true or not. I don't think it's true, but I don't. But also, Andre Cronje is one of those figures, kind of like Vitalik. He's this mysterious dude, and he's a savant, and he sits there and creates some really crazy development stuff. But a lot of times lately, people have been treating him in a way like Vitalik Buterin by having him speak. He's a developer. He doesn't want to speak, and having him, write articles and things like that, even though he does have his own blog. But people hold on to every word that he says like he's some kind of person in control of a lot of these projects. When in reality, Phantom has a large team. So does Yearn Finance. He's not the person in control in the same way that Vitalik Buterin is not the person in control of Ethereum. There are no one people in control of these protocols, but our human tendency is to have to find some kind of human figure to project all this stuff onto. It's the same concept that can be found in Rene Girard's scapegoat mechanism. Humans have to find some pinpoint and some target to put all this mimetic energy into. And if they don't have it, then pressure builds up and there's no release for it, and society will self-destruct. So that's part of the whole complex mechanism of a scapegoat mechanism. And point number 4 in this guy's thread, interestingly, Andre himself said that they are completing handovers, which implies that the affiliated project will still be able to run independently of Andre. Perhaps the original announcement could have been worked better to avoid miscommunication. Andre says, please don't spread misinformation. My LinkedIn is the only source of truth. I've left all previous projects. Website will remain up to the 3rd of April. I'm busy with all my handovers. I won't be responding to any questions on this further. Somebody said, so to validate, you left Keeper as well. Not yet, but as soon as I complete all handovers, yes. Okay, so the Phantom... The announcement was met with a very negative reaction from the community, with Phantom and its ecosystem projects taking a huge hit. And, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of DeFi projects and a lot of projects within Phantom and a lot of them are very fragile right now. They have Tomb Protocol, Tomb Finance, they have Spirit Swap, Liquid Driver, Phantom itself, the Ice. Let's see what else. T-Share. I don't know what Beats are or Scream is, but and then Boo is a Spooky Swap. So there's a lot of really interesting DeFi protocols and other protocols in Phantom that were taking a huge hit. And if you look at this chart here, Scream's down 38.2, T-Share was down 25.7, Taro is down 22.8, Phantom was down 14%, Liquid Drivers down 16.6%, Spirit Swap down 17.4%, Spooky Swap down 18%. I mean, so everything took a huge hit, and everything's starting to level out now a little more, which is good, because people are starting to realize it's not the end of the world that your Messiah is deciding to go into anonymity. So total value unlocked on Phantom also responded negatively as investors de-risked and exited Solidity pools. So the crypto space is going through a lot right now. Like I mentioned earlier, with Bitcoin and Joe Biden about to sign a crypto executive order this week, as the industry faces sanctions pressure, and then now we have Andre Cronje stepping down. Who knows? Maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he's getting pressure from regulators. And this has nothing to do with him just being tired of all the drama that went on with Danny Sesta. And then number 7, Phantom FDN made an official statement on the matter and reiterated that some great points regarding the state of the project. He said, interestingly, Andre hasn't been involved directly on Phantom tech in a long time. He hasn't really been directly involved for quite a while, and there are 40 plus people working at Phantom. So Phantom was never a one-man team. Phantom also gave us some exciting updates on much-needed upgrades to the chain storage and the highly anticipated Phantom virtual machine. So Phantom itself, the Phantom Foundation, says, therefore, the development of Phantom won't be impacted by Andre's decision. Big things are coming as scheduled. We're still on track to ship SnapSync and a database upgrade in the short term, and to release middleware improvements such as fiat storage and the Phantom virtual machine. And then point number 9, despite all this carnage, I do want to reiterate this point. Phantom isn't the sum of one man. There are many amazing developers throughout the ecosystem, and the community is much stronger than just one individual. And then number 10, Andre is an amazing developer, and he deserves the utmost respect for his work on Phantom. I completely respect Andre Cronje as a developer. Like I said, he's not a people person. If you ever see him or hear him speak, you can tell he's not a people person. He does not want to talk to you. However, the project is much bigger than just Andre. Panic selling now seems highly irrational. And, things like stocks and crypto and money is extremely irrational. And you would think that some of the most rational people coming in, like developers and, building code and, like numbers, is totally rational, right? No, the people that surround numbers are completely irrational. Miles Dutcher said, if you're panic selling your bags because of one man taking a break, I don't know what to say to you. So how do we play the situation? He says, firstly, my stance on Phantom hasn't changed. I have just as much conviction in Phantom as I did 24 hours ago. And yes, I have held on to my Phantom share. I'm not selling it. Phantom without Andre is still Phantom. Nothing has changed. The good news is that we're getting some amazing opportunities to accumulate quality Phantom projects. And then this guy says he always preaches of buying in times of extreme fear. And the same thing, I guess, could go for Bitcoin. Personally, I will be accumulating Phantom projects very soon. I'm wary of catching a falling knife, but I'm strategizing a dollar cost average plan to take advantage. All right, so he just keeps reiterating the same point that he likes Phantom. All right, man, we get it. Yeah, we get it. So there's some other threads. Let's see here. I want to find the original one that talked about him with Andre Cronje. Let's see here. I have quite a bit of threads here, as you can see. And okay, anyway, the synopsis of the other one that I was trying to find and read basically talked about Andre Cronje. Hold on, let's see here. Urine behind the story. Okay, let's show this thread, and let's see here. Okay, thread 1 of N. Okay. So Story starts in summer 2020. Hot and off Yearn's debut album, Vaults 1, spearheaded by misunderstood DeFi dev Andre Cronje during what would be called DeFi Summer. Andre's creative force built a robust but simple system to yield farm. Most critics and fans loved it. And that was the DeFi Summer. We'll be having a bunch of hippie songs about DeFi Summer lately. The album seemed to define a time and place millions of countless copycats wanted to imitate its sounds and rhythms. Yep, all the food meme DeFi apps started coming out. Andre Cronje decided that this system was not what he liked. He liked to create, so he decided to give away. He created YFI, a token to govern this album. And that was the YAM, the Earn Finance, and he gave it all away. He walked away from it. And he didn't. He gave it to everybody, and that token went really high. And because there were only a limited amount made, and he's not in it. I mean, he's made money, but he's not in. He's what I would call an apostle, somebody that goes around and plants churches, and then once they get it going, they go to somewhere else and they plant another church. And then they keep on going. They plant another church. That's what an apostle is. And they build communities and they build projects. So he's kind of a crypto apostle. Let's see. So this guy says, my background before I joined Yearn this is Stormblessed 0x. My background before I joined Yearn was I started learning to play tunes in crypto since 2017. He's using a metaphor of like a record, So listening to the title of this thread is Yearn Behind the Yield: The Story of Yearn Platinum Album Vaults Version 2: Dark Side of DeFi. Okay, all right. So my background before I joined Yearn was I started learning to play tunes in crypto since 2017. Listened to common hit wonders like ICOs, ERC20s, etc. And in 2017, it was all about the ERC20 token and the ICO, the initial coin offering project with a white paper and nothing else to it, and vaporware, So basically, everybody would just throw money at some guy with a concept and a white paper, and then the guy would suddenly disappear, So he says, I got good enough with time to start making my own tunes and aspire to build a good enough album that could become a hit. So a lot of people saw this stuff happen, and they're like, I can do that, and they would create their own crypto projects. After YFI came out at this time, by happenstance, I was free to contribute. I managed to create 2 albums that nobody heard of in bear market. Okay, all of my demo tapes got rejected by most studio executives, the VCs, and they wanted proof of thousands of paying fans, the bear market vibes. All right, at this time in Discord, I started discussing and looking for ways to help with the album. I saw this Banteg figure in the Discord. At this time, I didn't know if he was a musician or a groupie. He seemed to know his way around the drums. We started quickly talking about favorite tunes. And that's what happens in the crypto world. You start to meet people in Discord, and you find out that you're good at some things and somebody else is. It's just the age-old thing of collaboration. He quickly noted that I could play, so he took me to the backstage core Telegram chat, where suddenly I found myself in the same group with famous DeFi players. So if you could start off in Discord, and you start contributing to a project, a lot of times the core contributors, there's a lot of sub chats and DMs and Telegram chats and things like that. Not Telegram so much anymore, but that's where a lot of the real activity goes on. So anyway, Andre Cronje was handing out the tunes. Back to the record analogy. He was composing and sharing them in the chat for everyone to review. Basically, he was sharing his code. The tune could have issues that could be very bad if it went public, like exploits. Andre Cronje liked playing new tunes in public. I started reviewing the tunes and giving feedback. I was doing other gigs and part-time helping in Yearn through the whole DeFi summer. The team grew with new players also inspired by Andre Cronje. They were free like me and by chance didn't have a band and wanted to contribute. They were all sick musicians. We were lucky. So at Fubulubu, Doggy was, aka Doggy, Senior Doggo, was one of those new players. He had past hits like Viper, VYPER. By the end of 2020, Doggy was building what would become Yearn's next new album. The next album would need to be bigger and better than the first one. This was not without its drama, though. Andre Cronje didn't like to involve himself with the album's new direction. He continued composing bonus tracks for his first album. Meanwhile, the new team had to keep working on the next album. We did several demos. Pool Pitaco broke the album a lot. Also, Flashfish OX. The version 2 album became Yearn's Dark Side of the Moon. Built by the remaining band members since the founder was no longer involved. It was a different vibe, but somehow kept the essence of Andre Cronje's original vision and brought a fresh direction. Then the incident happened. While we were demoing the version 2 album and mixing it, version 1 album had an incident, the die hack. Lots of fans were affected. Version 2 wasn't out yet, and we didn't know if it would work or not. At this moment, my only gig was Yearn, so I was worried. The Bunny stepped up. The Bunny drummer started gathering the community around minting YFI for the new band members and to reimburse the fans that were affected. The Bunny took leadership, and he heard demos of version 2 and rough mixes. He knew this needed to see the light of day. This can't be the end. The minting happened, and we reimbursed the fans and secured funding for the new members to start putting out tunes and building on top of this new album. It had mixed reviews at launch, but slowly started gathering traction and went platinum with over $5 billion in total value locked. Since version 2 launched, new band members joined, and we are currently working on the next set of tunes that will become our next album. Version 2 has been going strong on the radio for over a year. Andre Cronje is no longer involved, but his vision still lives to this day. In version 2, they're talking about Yearn Finance version 2 and how it carried on. So this is the birth of version 2. Whatever you want to call it, for some reason, the version 2 album gathers one of the best bands that happened to be wandering the space to help build what would become an epic album. This band could put out several albums on its own, but decided to do it for Yearn. Yearn keeps evolving and growing. Everybody has equal input on the album now. We've been working for over a year without a head figure, and we have many leaders and voices that direct the vision now. So yeah, I'm missing like 20 others that I interact with every day, but Bus Factor has gone down a lot in Yearn's dev team. New folk are contributing every day. So I love making music with this team and hope the next albums we put are well received. We will most likely experiment and change styles a lot, but hope we keep building the core of what brought us here. This is not the whole story. The biggest thank you to Andre. Thanks for reading. So that was basically just a thread about, Andre and how he led, and he basically was an apostle for Yearn Finance as well. And he moved on. So I think he's kind of doing the same thing with Phantom right now. What happened with Phantom is him and Danielle Sesta were, and started solidly swap or whatever together. Danny Sesta is a marketing type of guy. He is the face, that Andre needs, and he was the counterpart. Well, Danny Sesta was involved in a project, Abracadabra Money. What was the other one? It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, he's in Magic Internet Money and all that stuff, and he was involved with that with Zero X Sifu, and Zero X Sifu was an anon. But it just so happens that his anon, he got doxxed, and it turns out that Zero X Sifu was really one of the guys involved in the Quadriga exchange, which completely tanked and was a complete scam, led by Gerald Cotton and what's the guy's name? Michael Patron. Michael Patron and Gerald Cotton. Gerald Cotton supposedly died, and millions of dollars just somehow disappeared with the death of Gerald Cotton, and even a little bit before that. Well, apparently, Michael Patron, aka Zero X Sifu, got out before all that happened, but he was affiliated with that, and so that stained his name, and he's also a felon, a multiple felon on a lot of these type of financial crimes before that. And since that, but no, not since that. Apparently, what Danny Sesta did when he found out the identity of Zero X Sifu, he continued to work with him, with a rose-colored lens perspective. That Michael Patron, aka Zero X Sifu, was a changed person. And it's what happens whenever you work in Discord. You don't know these people's identities or anything about them, and they show up every day. They do good work, and you begin to trust their work, and you don't care about who they are. So I don't know who I'm working with a lot of times in Bankless DAO and other DAOs. I just know that they do good work and they show up and they provide good perspectives. And that's all I know about them, or all I care to know about them. So I can understand Daniel Sesta's, reasoning behind all this. But he probably should have backed away from that relationship once he found out, but he didn't. He continued. So it just so happens, as things do on the internet, somebody went to snooping and they uncovered it, and then they confronted Daniel Sesta. Hey, do you know who 0x Sifu is? And he says, yeah, I found out, but he seems like a good guy. But the problem is that they're holding several million to billions of people's dollars in these protocols run by somebody who's a notorious felon in partnership. Okay, and so Andre Cronje's partner, Danny Sesta, was associating with that guy. That became a big problem, and a lot of drama swirled around that. And so Andre Cronje was catching flack for hanging around with Danny Sesta. Now, I go back to my point before about crypto being all about numbers and investing, and you would think that all these people are rational-minded people, but people get so emotionally wrapped up and involved, and there's so much drama going on in the crypto space that Andre Cronje started to receive a lot of this drama. Well, Danny Sesta was basically kicked out of the project, and so it left solidly to 100% to Andre Cronje. And like I said, Andre Cronje is a developer. He does not want to interact with people, and he was stuck doing Danny Sesta's job, which was interacting with people. You see what I'm saying here? And then it just so happens a couple of weeks later, after all that, Andre Cronje has decided to step down and go into the quagmire of anonymity. And who can blame him? His partner, who was handling all his interaction with people, basically got kicked out, for, him trying to, for him associating with a prior felon. And then now, Andre Cronje has the buttload of the work. Yeah. And he's just like, dude, I just want to develop. And he said he's going completely out of DeFi space. So this entire episode was just me rambling about Andre Cronje. I spent 37 minutes doing it. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, right. Man, I don't know. It is what it is. This is just my time to talk about crypto. And if I didn't talk about it here, and you have the ability to just click and turn me off. But if I were to corner my family or friends or people in my office about this stuff, they'd be sitting there just like their eyes glazing over, being, wow, dude, that's crazy, man. Wow, dude, that's crazy, man. Oh, wow, that's crazy. And they'd be like 52, that's crazy's in, and I would still not get the picture. So here you are still listening to me. So that's crazy, man. All right, well, I will talk to you later.
Welcome to Eureka Street. Everything here is DIY and a little bit janky. I mean, look at me. Seriously. Do I scream professional to you? Enjoy your time here. Take it for what it is. And have fun.